G'day guys, how you going? Hope you're all having a fantastic evening. Tonight I'm going to be doing a top 10. Now I went through my videos and I realised that I haven't done a top 10 of this, and this is my most disturbing films. So I've seen around YouTube that a lot of people have done a top 10 of disturbing films, so I thought why not put my 2 cents worth in. And I'm going to show you 10 very disturbing films that got to me the most. Now I have to tell you that there are no pseudo-snuff films. I don't find them very disturbing at all. So if you want films like Nikudarama or August Underground, you're going to be let down because they are not in this collection. I don't even have them on DVD, so I'm really not into pseudo-snuff, so I do apologise. And yeah, so just something a little bit different with this top 10. I'm sure a lot of people won't have these on their top 10, so hopefully this one makes an interesting video. So I'm going to get started with it. Going to start at number 10 and work my way down to the big one at number 1. And number 10, we start off with an Austrian serial killer film called Angst. This is getting into the mind of a deranged psychopath. It's kind of like a schizophrenic. He gets released from prison and then he goes back into his killing ways. Just a really dark film. Very, very grainy. It's from 1986 or the mid-80s. So it is a little bit dated, but I think that the dated appearance really helps it in the end. So yeah, a really deranged look inside the mind of a serial killer. So that is number 10. A very, very good film. Number 9, we have another serial killer film. This one's from England. Tony, London serial killer. Now, I haven't seen Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, believe it or not, so I can't compare the two, but this one seems to be a lot similar to that one. Just really getting inside the mind of a serial killer as he goes through his daily business. So that's number 9. A very good film, a shocking film. It's not overly gory, it's just very psychological, and I would highly recommend this to anyone who liked films like Henry. So although I can't compare the two, yeah, I've been told what Henry's like, and it is very similar to Tony. So, or I should say, Tony's very similar to Henry because that one came first. So, number 8, we have a Greek film called Dogtus. The overall themes to the movie were just really troubling. The father was a complete maniac, and just what the kids had to do was just really disturbing. I love the movie. I'm sure a lot of you out there also love it. It is a classic, but a very subtle kind of disturbing feeling. And I feel that this should be in many people's top 10 as far as disturbing nature goes. So these films they might not be the most violent, but they are definitely disturbing psychologically. So that's number 8, Dogtooth. 7, we have a film from the UK called Eden Lake. I've featured this on many lists, and I've done a review on it, so I really liked it. I don't have to go further details about it because I've talked about it enough. Just a really hard film to watch, and that definitely deserves number 7 on my list. 6, we have an Irish film called Savage. One of the best endings you'll ever see. Left me stunned, and just the whole film is just really disturbing psychologically. And there's a very gory ending, so it's a good payoff. But yeah, very disturbing. 5, we have the infamous A Serbian Film. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, why isn't this number 1? I just felt that it was a little bit too shocking. I felt that the director tried a little bit too hard. I think that films are more disturbing with more subtle approach. And this one, you know, the approach wasn't very subtle at all. A good film. I would recommend it, but it is very extreme. And just for the extreme nature, I have to put this at number 5 on my list. 4, we have a Spanish film. This one really hit me hard. It's the best film I've watched in a long time, and this is called Kidnapped. Everything Cherry Tree Lane, which is a home invasion English movie, everything that Cherry Tree Lane should have been. This one was the best home invasion film I've seen since the French film Inside. Just a really cruel film, and it's very deserving of its number 4 spot on my list. 3, we come down to the big guns here. Now these films I would not recommend to the average viewer. I wouldn't recommend any of these to the average viewer, but more so the top 3. Number 3 is a French film called Martyrs. I've gone on about it time and time again. Sorry, I'm muddling up my words, it's late. I've gone on about this time and time again, so I'm not going to go any further onto it. But this is number 3, and you're probably thinking, what on earth have you got for number 2 and 1? If you know you can outdo this. So the next 2 films are very hard to watch, obviously. So number 2, we have another French film by Gaspar Noé. This one is called Irreversible. Very infamous for its 2 scenes of violence. They're the only scenes in the film that are violent, so you might be thinking this is going to be an easy film to watch. But let me tell you, it is not an easy film to watch. Those 2 scenes of violence are hideous, and it will stay with you for a very, very long time. This is a masterpiece. I love it, one of my favourite films of all time, but definitely a film you can't watch time and time again within a short period of time. And then number 1, Irreversible has been number 1 on my disturbing list for a very long time, but I saw this film. It's Australian, and it's based on a real-life serial killer. I thought, this could be good. I put it in, and I wasn't expecting the emotional impact that the film would have on me. And this qualifies as the most disturbing film in my collection. It's psychologically more so than physically, or the violence on screen, although the violence is very hard to take. But the overall story and the fact that I'm Australian and I know the real story just makes it even more chilling. And this one is a film that everybody should watch, but beware, it is going to upset a lot of people, and this is called Snowtown. Now this film has everything from murder, serial killing, pedophilia, rape, everything in it, incest. It's just a very disturbing film. I don't know how it got a 15+ classification. This is worse than a lot of R-rated films out there, which just shows that you don't need on-screen violence to really drive home the psychologically damaging impact. This upset me, and it's been a long time since I've been rattled by a film. The last film that did that was Irreversible, and now this one. Irreversible, Martyrs, those sort of films really rattled me, and I didn't think anything would match up to it, but this one did, and I would highly recommend it, but just be very careful. The story can be a little bit confusing, but it's definitely worth it, because cinema from Australia has been really good lately, and this is no different. This is the most disturbing film in my collection that I would recommend. I'm sure a lot of people won't find it as disturbing, but if you're Australian, you know the story, and you know how it shocked the nation, you are going to find that little bit extra disturbed. So this is number 1 in my most disturbing list. So hopefully you got a few titles out there that you might want to see. Not necessarily the sickest films or the most gory, but psychologically I feel that these are the most disturbing films in my collection. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, take care of yourselves, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you later.